Hey everyone, welcome to Level 30 Games. My name is Tom, and this is a new segment we're trying out called 3 Up, 3 Down. The idea here is that we're going to take a look at some things that are going on, not just in the gaming sphere, but all of pop culture that I find interesting or worthy of praise, but also some things that are not so great, deserve to be called out, kind of suck, hence the 3 Up and the 3 Down. So let us know what you think at the end. Love to hear your feedback. Enjoy. These are in no particular order, but without further ado, here we go. 3 up, 3 down. First up, and again in no particular order, is the recent release of Fire Emblem Engage. Now the thing with this game is that it really goes back to its roots. I think many people got into Three Houses because of a lot of the relationship building, a lot of the Persona-esque kind of day-to-day, I'm going to do certain things and tasks and work towards leveling up not only my character in certain skill sets, but also the relationships between your character and other characters, and that was reflected on the battlefield. The beautiful thing about Fire Emblem is that you don't need those aspects to the game to do that, and I'm really happy this kind of goes back to its more tactical-oriented roots. While the story is a little light so far and the fan service has a tendency to be a little cringe, I've been really enjoying my time with this, and if you're into tactics games at all or you've enjoyed Fire Emblem's Three Houses, I definitely think this is worth giving a shot. Just don't go into it expecting a lot of the intense relationship building. Okay, so I'm late to the party on this one, but number 2 up is Elden Ring. This was a game that came out, of course, February of last year, but swept up at the Game Awards, and I immediately took it off my list, avoided the hype for so long, because I knew that these Souls-like games are just not things that I'm interested in, and so I sat on this for a long time, and maybe I was swayed by some of the Game of the Year stuff, and I've actually been enjoying my time with it. I'm not good by any stretch of the imagination, and I've been told by a lot of Souls people that this is actually a good entry point for these style of games, as it's a little bit more forgiving, but the combat's intense. Exploration is really, really good. Like, I mean, rivals Breath of the Wild in being really, really good, because you just never know what you're going to come across, and I think there is some really big shock and awe moments where you stumble across something that you really weren't expecting. You know, everything from a giant dragon landing in a swamp to, you know, a little jump scare while working your way through a castle. The one thing that I'm really liking so far, outside of the exploration and the atmosphere, is that this does feel to a degree like a game that I can kind of play on the back burner from time to time. I think it's a game you can shake the rust off and kind of get back into after a few deaths, and a few deaths really means a few dozen, but it's kind of the fun so far. So I'll put about 20 hours into it, and while I can't commit to beating it, I can say I've been enjoying my time so far. Last but not least on my 3 up list is the movie Everything Everywhere All at Once, and I just wanted to give this a shout out because not only was it my favorite film of last year, in fact, I put a blog post up, and I'll put the link in the description below, ranking every film that I saw last year that was released last year. So I think I saw 60-some films over the course of the year, 40 of which were released in 2022. Everything Everywhere All at Once was my favorite. It picked up 11 Oscar nominations, and I know that doesn't mean a lot to most people. To someone like me who actually goes out of the way to still watch the Oscars and likes that level of recognition for the art of filmmaking, this was really, really cool to see. So I encourage you all to check that out. I believe it's available on demand. I think the Blu-ray or 4K Blu-ray even has been cheap, like $10 on Amazon. And I read just today that they're re-releasing it in theaters for a couple of weeks as well. So if you get a chance, go check it out. I might head back to the theater to check it out again. Fantastic film. Highly recommend. Go see it. Moving over to the 3 down, again in no particular order, but since I ended on movies, let me start with the movie, and I want to just quickly throw out there that my first down, I saw Megan a couple weeks ago, and it's been getting a lot of praise on social media, and I can't really understand why. Yes, I know it kind of falls in that category of the movie's so bad it's good, but it's not. Like, don't get me wrong, there were moments where I legit laughed out loud, because it was not scary. I don't think it's meant to be scary, but it was so bad that it was funny. That doesn't make it a good film, and I know I feel like I'm the old man yelling at cloud moment here, but is it warrant a watch? Yeah, I would honestly say sure. But if you have any expectations, and maybe that's my fault for buying into some of that social media hype up till the movie came out, I was a little bit underwhelmed here. A sequel's in the works. I will probably go see it and probably be just as disappointed. Second one down, kind of a shocker. God of War Ragnarok. This was a game that I was really, really excited for. It was my 2018 Game of the Year, and I could not wait for the sequel. It had been teased a whole bunch, and it looked like they were taking everything they did from the original, up the ante, but it did feel like a game I had played before. I couldn't find myself getting into the story. I found myself drifting in my attention span during the cutscenes, and maybe that's a me thing, but there really wasn't anything there that I felt was a total surprise. It felt a little monotonous, like I've been there, done that, and that's not to disgrace or decredit the makers of the game. I'm not saying that their game is terrible, but for whatever reason, I couldn't latch onto it in the same way that I did the 2018 God of War. I put about 12, 15 hours into this game. I found other things that I find are more interesting to play right now, and I don't see a world in which I go back anytime soon. So, sorry, God of War. Number 3, down. This is a big one. I want to make sure I get this right, so I'll be checking my notes. But this is a real kick in the ass. This sucks. There have been a tremendous amount of layoffs. Most recently, it's been GameSpot and Giant Bomb. The Washington Post actually posted the other day that their games column was being shut down or reconfigured or moved. Shout out to Gene Park, who does a fantastic job there. Great follow on Twitter as well. Give him a follow if you're into that space. Sites like, GameBite, Game Informer, Future, Fanbyte, Vice, IGN, Polygon have not been immune to any layoffs or anything as well. Losing your job is losing your livelihood, the ability to support for your family, and so I wish those that got laid off the best of luck. I hope you land on your feet. Video games are things that should be enjoyed. Millions of people, if not billions of people, appreciate this medium, and having legitimate journalistic integrity behind the reporting or coverage of video games media should be encouraged. We want the best of the best covering the things that we love and enjoy. If you have a respected outlet, I'm not saying you need to pay and subscribe, but find a way to support them, whether it's, clicking on affiliate links or just watching their videos to entirety, liking, subscribing to, their YouTube channels, etc. It's a good way to support. So, hats off to those folks that have done a tremendous job, and hope they land on their feet soon. Well, that's it for the first episode, the pilot episode, if you will, of 3 Up, 3 Down. Hope you enjoyed. We'll keep these coming as soon as I got 6 things that I want to talk about. All right, see you next time.